What's up, sports fans? Welcome back to SXM Sports The Playbook, your weekly front row seat to everything happening on and off the field. I'm your host, Jamal Newton. Heads up. You ready? Let's go. Summer break might be winding down, but for our student athletes, the action is heating up as they chase new personal bests across the globe. And it's not just the youngsters making noise, our seniors. Athletes are showing no signs of slowing down, rocking some of the blazing times of their own. We've got an packed episode with offshore competition, local trailblazers, and some major stories ready to unpack. So let's dive in. This is the Playbook. Champions thrive on challenge, and that's exactly what our athletes are embracing week after week. Whether they're defending a title or chasing one thing's certain: consistency and skill go hand in hand. Everyone wants the win, but the journey, that's where the real heart is. Let's check out who stepped up and gave it their all. Here's your weekly recap. Open roads and high-speed ambition. That's the setting for the St. Martin National Time Trial Championship held on Saturday, July the 19th. If you were heading through Cold Bay, chances are you saw a stream of determined cyclists flying past the airport strip. Riders launched one by one, every minute on the minute, starting near the Causeway Bridge, racing to the Maho roundabout, finishing atop the Cold Bay Hill roundabout. Organized by the St. Martin Cycling Federation, the event saw around 40 competitors across multiple divisions. And the cycling didn't stop there. Sunday featured the National Road Race, drawing over 50 riders. Full results will be posted on the St. Martin Cycling Federation and Tri-Sport Facebook pages. Be sure to check them out. While local softball may be on pause, the action rolled on in Zoetermeer in the Netherlands, where St. Martin was represented by the upsetters in the 12th Caribbean Women's 35-plus tournament. Their final showdown, a nail-biter against Curaçao's Rising Phoenix, tied at 11 in extra innings with the bases loaded and 2 outs. A fly out to center field ended the upsetters' run. Curaçao claimed the 1-run win and moved on to face the Dutch Lions, who eventually took home the championship title. The SCSA Eagles have landed in Trinidad and are geared up for the 2025 Club Shield tournament. We caught up with Coach Burton for the insights on their preparation and goals.
My name is Gidar Burton, head coach for SCSA Eagles senior team from St. Martin. I think this is my 4th season as the head coach for the senior team. So hopefully we can make it 5 or 6. We don't know, we'll see. So for the past 4 years, it has been a lot of ups and downs. You know, it's not going to be easy coming in as a head coach. This was my first team as a seniors head coach. So I had to deal with the transition of coaching younger youth compared to seniors, adults who are more responsible, and you know, they have their own responsibilities at home. They are their own bosses on their job. So I had to deal with that in the first year, and it was quite a learning experience for me as a coach. But eventually, you know, with mutual respect, both of us, coaching staff and the players, you know, we went on to become champion because of the hard work and the dedication that they put in to play the game. It's not really a selection, it's the same team. Maybe 95% of the players that played during the league, we only have like 2 new players that will join us for this competition. So it's the same players that we had in the beginning playing for the last season here. So the preparation has started from last year. You know, so we use the league games as preparation in terms of developing our style of play, how we want to play based on the opponent. And you know, for the past year, we have been capitalizing on that, and we have been winning games through thick and thin. So, you know, the real challenge is now. No, last year we went to the same tournament. Unfortunately, we got eliminated in the first round, but also that was a learning experience for us. So now we understand what it's like out there, because you know, we are always saying it to the players, but they did not get the actual feeling of what it's like competing with our Caribbean neighbors. So now they have a better understanding that hey, football is playing out there outside of St. Martin. So even though we might win a few games here, it is way more competitive and challenging out there. So, you know, luckily for us, the younger players that we have there are on the more mature side. So it's not easy, but it was more accepting for them to adjust to the group. And also the older players that we have, they, as I said, it's mutual respect. That's what one of our things that we build on. So the younger players, they respect the older ones, and the older ones respect them and let them know that, hey, you're young, you're coming into a older team, so don't come as if you have a place already. You have to work for a place. And so far, they have been working hard. The younger ones, they have been working hard to find a place in the starting level in the squad itself, and they have shown really good matured performances thus far. Actually, we studied the little that we know about them, but there is not much we could find about our opponents because it's not like their games are live on the internet. But we saw some clips, we saw a few games, but nothing too current. And as I said, a lot will change compared to the last game that we saw online. So we just have to go and focus a lot more on ourselves compared to the other teams. No, for one last year it was more difficult because it was either win and stay or lose and go home. So we lost the game and we went home. This year it's you have minimum 2 games, so you still have enough time to even if the first game doesn't go as planned, you have a next opportunity for the second game. So this year we are a little bit more comfortable with how the competition on a whole is structured. So that alone gives us a little bit more excitement going into the tournament. An element of surprise because I mean a lot of persons out there they underestimate us, and it's time we are trying to make a change. So if we go and we get at least 3 points, then that's enough for us at the beginning, and then we are going to see how best we can capitalize and get in another 3 points. But for us, it's go hard or go home. So we are going with everything that we have. We have to stick to our reality, and this is our reality that we have here, and we're going in, and yes, with the best of our abilities.
We're wishing the Eagles the best of luck. All eyes on them as they take flight. Even with the event being cancelled, the island volleyball lovers came through from Friday to Sunday. Players hit the court for the friendly mixed matches filled with energy, laughs, and that classic St. Martin competitive spirit. The Pelican League baseball tournament continues at Irwin Bacco Stadium. Swim by and catch a game. Big shout out to our swimming delegation currently in Singapore preparing for the World Aquatics Championships. That wraps up our recap, but stick around because coming up next, we sit down with Coach Abdule Wattley as he relives the journey to gold. And later we'll be joined by none other than Mr. Antonio Aventurin. Don't touch that dial.
Competition format, they call it like a Swiss system format where each group has 6 countries/clubs, and each team will play 2 games per group. So you're not necessarily playing everybody in the group. So after your 2 games, the top team from each zone will go on to the quarterfinals. So it's 4 groups, 4 groups of 6 teams, and each team plays 2 games in each group, and the top teams from each group goes on to quarterfinal, then semifinals, and then finals. So our mindset for this tournament is to ensure that we go out and do the best of our abilities. So everybody know that we have to fight and give 100% at all times. It doesn't matter the situation on the field, it doesn't matter the circumstances on the field. Everybody needs to have everybody's back and go out and fight with their last breath. So we're giving it a 101% effort.
Welcome back to the Playbook. Joining us now is the one and only Coach Abdule Wattley, alongside some of his athletes who made headlines at the Trupial Classic in Curacao. We're back with Abdule Wattley, man of many hats, Vice President of the Track and Field Federation, the national team coach, and also the president of the Dynamics Track and Field Club. Welcome back, Abdule.
Thank you, Mr. Jamal. It's a pleasure. Second time being on your show, St. Martin Sports.
There you go. All right. Now we are so excited to have you back because you just came back with a haul of medals with your team. So we want to jump straight into it. How was NACAC
Well, NACAC age group was very, very, very good for us. For the first time, we managed to get a gold medal in a NACAC event. Our athlete, Naja Wyatt, in the 1200 meters. But aside from that, for the NACAC age group, we brought back about 15 medals total. Bettering the first time we went, which was 2 years ago in the Dominican Republic, whereas we won 9 medals.
Wow. And it was really exciting to see, that we did that interview prior to you guys traveling. And Mr. Wyatt did promise gold and he brought it back. So from the rankings and everything, we noticed that everybody, that team, everyone on that team did really good in terms of representing themselves.
Yes, yes. We had only 4 athletes. They were all on 15. We could field on the 13 team, but we didn't have the athletes to do so. However, we still managed to finish, I think, 6 overall out of 34 countries. We won third place in the boys under 15. We had 2 athletes finish fourth. That's Naja Wyatt and Jolene Tomlin. They both finished fourth in their individual category, which is extremely, extremely well. At a point, Jolene was leading in first place, but it's a back and forth based on points. And if she had placed a little better in the 1000 meters, the final event of the event, she would have probably get first or second.
So each of your athletes did more than.
Yes, the event was a heptathlon event where they have to do 7 events plus a relay.
Wow. And that seemed to be nothing for them based on the way that you guys train. You guys did really well.
Well, they've been putting in the work 5 days a week, 2 days in the gym, so they was ready, prepared for it. I've been always putting it in their head that listen, we're going to NACAC age group. This is what we have to do, and they did that.
They were very confident, so
Yes.
keep up the good work with them with that. And I think after you left Nicaragua, you just dropped into Curacao and did some damage there also.
Yes, yes, it was no rest actually. We came back well, we didn't come back to St. Martin. We landed in Curacao when we decided to spend the extra days there, and then we had a team of 20, 20 athletes coming up to meet the 4 athletes that was already in Curacao, and then we competed in the 2PL Classic.
So how was the 2PL Classic? How did we perform there?
Man, we performed extremely well. We came back with 49 medals total. 20 of them is gold, 3 bronze, and 23 silver.
And if they want to get it, they'll get it on your website, man.
Yes, yes,
Definitely
yes.
good. So that is great. So those 2 trips, we can definitely say were successful trips representing St. Martin.
Very, very, very successful.
Very good, man. I'm really happy to hear that you guys are really doing us proud. Any upcoming events for track and field?
Well, at this moment, we're in rest phase. We're just going to pick up the pieces, all the results that we had from the past events, and try to work on it for next season, make it even better, because the goal is actually to win another Carifta medal. We have done so some years ago when we had Shakiba Pink. We are still standing as the only club on the island to win a Carifta medal, and actually she have 3 medals.
So definitely for the next Carifta Games, safe to say we will be definitely bringing
Yes,
home some gold.
we will be a force to be reckoned with.
There you go.
The rest of the Caribbean at this moment, they're hearing our name, they're seeing our name.
Yes, it's loud and clear to them.
Yes.
So our potential athletes, do they have any potential to leave the island and also continue track and field? That's a possibility eventually.
Well, definitely that's the idea. That's what we want, but we want to get them in the best situation as possible.
I understand. That's good. That's good. We'll be right back with our 4 medalists. Us today here in the studios, Shadwina Gums and Messiah Wyatt.
Yes, sir.
Shadwina, let's start with you. How was the NACAC experience?
The experience was amazing. I enjoyed it. I was really happy.
You were happy. All right. And you were able to at least get a medal there, right?
Well, for really,
For the relay.
yes.
So how was that experience with that relay run?
It was good. The handoff was great. Marcella dominated. Everybody dominated. So yeah.
It's good, 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 good. Mr. Wyatt, can you explain us about the NACAC experience?
So the NACAC experience I had was very fun. This is my second time actually going to NACAC. Um, if they have a next NACAC for like under 17, I would definitely go. Um, it was very fun. We dominated every event. I personally could have done more better for my long jump, but yeah,
So, Shadwina, you had 1 medal.
Yes, for now.
Mr. White, you came back home with 5 medals.
yes, sir.
So, after the NORCAC Games, you guys traveled to Curacao to compete in the Trupial event. Shadwina, how was that for you?
That was good. I liked all my races. The one I hated was definitely the relay, Sweden 300. Not again.
Not again,
Mm,
but you did get some medals while you were over
yeah.
there. Can you share with us how you did it in terms of your medals?
I got a medal for ball throw. I came third place
Okay.
with a throw of 40.69. Yes.
Mr. Wyatt,
Yes.
how was it for your experience in the Trupial?
My experience in Trivia Classic in Curacao was very amazing. I placed in every event I did. The event I did was the two relays, which was Swedish and 4x1, the long jump, 80-meter, ball throw, and yeah, that's it. I came first for the 80-meter, second for the long jump, and first for the two relays.
So you had so much medals you can't even remember.
Okay.
Good job, guys. Good job. So thanks for visiting us at the studios. Continue the hard work. And we're looking forward to your next event. I know you guys are in off season right now, so get your rest. And you did us really proud representing the island. So thank you again. And we're back with our final 2 athletes here from the Dynamics Track and Field Club. We're here with Mr. Naja Wyatt and Jolene Tomlin. Let's start with you, Mr. Wyatt. Can you go over and share with us how was it at the NACAC event?
The Nakak event was fun, but also not fun at the same time.
Okay.
But more on the fun side. The event was great. They had a lot of friendly people. Everybody was fun, but the language barrier was kind of
It's a challenge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't communicate with them people.
Mhm.
But otherwise, it was good. I did my thing in the 1200 meter and the other events. Not so good. I did come out in second place for 80 meters, which is not my event, but I did good in that.
So you basically came back with a gold
Yeah, I did.
and a silver.
Yeah.
And a couple of bronze, if I'm not mistaken.
2 bronze.
2 bronze. Still good. Still a good haul. Still a
Yep.
good haul. Miss Tomlin, how was the NACAC for you?
It was very exciting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was exciting about it?
The races, meeting new people, new country, and you know,
Experience, the whole
yes, the
experience was
experience.
good. I
Yes.
think they really good at NACAC, my understanding, which you had 6 bronze medals. That's a lot of bronze medals. You sharing any of them? Not yet.
Okay.
Good. So, after the NACAC games, you guys flew over to Curacao.
Yeah.
How was your experience at the Trupial?
GPL was fun,
Okay.
more exciting than Nakak,
Right.
but it was one of the easiest events that I've been to in a while.
Okay.
400s, of course, that's my event. 400s was the easiest. Relay was the easiest too. We got PB'd. That's by a second. Um, the relays we did was Swedish relay. It was a mixture of 400, 300, 200, and 100, and we did 4x1 relay. She also got first place in both relays.
Okay. Ms. Tomlin, your experience at the Trupial, how was it?
It was good because we go there almost every year,
Okay.
and we usually dominate. So it was like a new, like light work. And I did 5 events. First, the Sweden relay, the normal 4x1 relay, 80 meter, ball through and long jump. Long jump I came first. The 2 relays I came first. The 80 meter semi-final I came first, and the final I came first. And shot put I came second.
You did real good in over there. You did real good. And so from what I'm also made to us understand that at the NACA games, you guys really did a number on some of the big countries at track and field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Want to share about that?
So 1200, The race started and Canadian was in front of me to the 200 mark. And by the 200 mark, I passed him up. This went my way. I PB'd by 9 seconds. Um, as I look back, I see everybody in the back of me. I was like, wow, bye. That was a good feeling for
That's a
me.
good feeling. Miss Tomlin, how did it feel running against the bigger countries?
Felt good knowing that I was running against the faster countries, especially Jamaica fast, and I dominated over them. But they're really good competition for me, and my 8 meter, especially some areas I need to work on is ball throw and shot put, which the Dominican Republic dominated that for sure, and high jump, especially the 1,000 meter. But that's not really my event,
Right.
so yeah, that's
You're
the
more
event.
the 200, 100?
The sprints, yes.
Sprints.
That's the event that put me back down from my standards.
Okay, I understand. But you felt comfortable being against the big guns.
Yes.
So your confidence level is high.
Yeah.
There you go. I love that. We want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for representing us
Yo,
and making us all proud that you guys did well for St. Martin,
yo.
Thank you.
Get some rest. I know it's off season. Get some rest.
Yeah.
Make sure your coach takes you guys out to celebrate.
He will.
And we'll see you guys when the season starts back, okay?
Okay, no
Thank you for
problem.
visiting us.
You're
all right?
welcome.
Thank you.
What a story. What a team. Big thanks to Coach Wattley and the crew for joining us. Still ahead, Antonio Aventurin steps into the studio on the opposite side of the interview. Stay with us. As promised, we're joined now by a man who knows the ins and outs of local sports like no one else. Please welcome Mr. Antonio Aventurin. And we're back with a special guest, a legend. That's right, a legend. In the studios here today with us is Mr. Antonio Aventurin. Mr. Aventurin, welcome to the Playbook.
Hey, Mr. Newton, really a pleasure to be here with you, man.
All right, so we're going straight into it because this is one of the interviews I really wanted to do.
Hey,
Mr. Aventurin, can you tell us who is Antonio?
Hey, Antonio Venturin is a young man from Colby, humble beginnings, grew up in Colby. One of 9 children. My mom had 9 children. I'm the youngest. Uh, Teacher by profession, studied mathematics and chemistry. Then I went over into information technology. So by profession, I'm a teacher. I taught for at least 15 years. I taught mathematics and information technology at Milton Peters College. And I was a manager there for 3 years. And then I left. And currently working with the Ministry of Education now as head of Division Study Financing. For the last
Call you in my days of MPC.
Yeah.
Just came back, It was always good to see a local, because we always had other individuals from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
But it was good to see you and Mr. Cartier. I remember him too as our local teachers. I was like, wow.
That was an interesting time. I came back in 1994, and then we went away. We went and came back in 1995, and we came with Lewis. A month after we came home, Lewis struck. So that was a difficult time starting up in St. Martin's, really.
But you contributed well.
Well, I feel so when I walk in the building. One of the things I always tell people when I go in the elevator, sometimes I have a time where the ministers call me Minel. I say, yeah, I did go.
Great.
So that's always a pleasure sometimes.
Thanks. So everybody on the island knows you as a commentator. Some of them call you the Golden Vault.
Yeah.
Because you have been involved in sports for a long time, and it's not just one or two sports, multiple sports on the island. You have had a lady fingerprint. Can you share with us some of the sports that you did?
Well, I'm most passionate about basketball. So I played basketball. We started off in the league. We started off back in the days with the league. We started off at a Hope Estate. So that was 1979, 1978. I think in 1978 I didn't make the team. The competition was so strong I didn't make the team. And we're talking then about guys like Ronnie Jacobs was on that team. Yeah, he was on the team, and a few other guys that Ralph Boyrad. and they were on the team. And I didn't make the team. I was one of the younger ones. And then I got on the team in 1979. And we were playing for Eastern Airlines. And our coach, I remember vividly, our coach back in those days, I always got to big him up. I still see him walking around with a gentleman named Pricio Matilda. And he was like a father figure for us in Cold Bay. And every afternoon we would congregate at his home. And from there we would go to the baseball field. It was just down the road on where now that's opposite. Exactly when you go into from on in Cold Bay down by Budget Marine side when you're going into Orange Grove Road there, you know, that's on that other side there, the field was.
So you guys played literally on this field.
So we played, well, we practiced there. That was our practice field. That was that was the good thing in those days. Every district had a court, had a baseball field or area where you could have practiced baseball. Yeah, correct. So we practiced there. That was an open area. And then, for example, if we couldn't practice there, we would go to Simpson Bay and practice now where you have, for example, you have you had Manos and all those things, businesses going back there. That was an open field, and they used to play baseball there as well.
Right next to
Caribbean, right next to the airport, yeah, in the back of Regina School, Caribbean ball players used to practice there. So we're not practicing on Pond Field. We used to call it the Pond Field then in Cold Bay. We used to go to Simpson Bay behind Regina School to watch the older guys. And when I talk about older guys now, we're talking about from Caribbean Lumber days. You're talking about Claudius Hawley, Lee Hawley from Lee. He has the restaurant now. Claudius Hawley was the pitcher. His brother Lee Hawley was the third baseman. You had, for example, guys like Polfo, Canagita catching. You had Sleepy in shortstop. Then you had Frankie Vanderpool. He's often still out on the field. He was playing second base or right field. And then you had his brother, Cooch. You know, and those are the guys that we grew up watching playing ball. And of course, you had Naldo Jacobs and Sam Jacobs and those guys. And those are really the top players who had, put down their mark. We grew up watching them play.
Yeah, I was when I was studying in Holland, I was witnessing now the Jacobs pair a couple of games. And what was very impressive is he was with arms. It was just a plow.
He's a big dude. So that's how we started off in baseball. Basketball, we started off actually under Bobby Ottley, because Bobby Ottley he was the president of the Basketball Association then. And he was also the founder and president, coach, manager, everything of the BBW Striders from Cold Bay. So he managed the Cold Bay Simpson Bay team. And we were trained first. I started off training in the old Charles Leopold Bell School. That was the first time I ever touched a basketball. You had to stick around, and when the ball get loose, you get a chance to dribble it because you're small, because you couldn't. So that was the first time I touched a basketball in my life. And those guys, they were playing there. And then from there, they got permission to practice in Regina School in Simpson Bay. And they put up 2 rims. And in the afternoon, to be able to practice, we would have to get there around 2:30. And then practice till about, the younger guys, we would play 3-on-3 until maybe 3 o'clock, 4. And then when the big guys come, you have to move off and clear the court. Right. So some of the guys back in those days from the BBW Striders he had Dave Gums. I haven't seen him around. He left the island, but he was a talented player. And then he had Matty Williams. Matty Williams just came back from the US, and he came and had a big impact on the game. But he started off with BBW because he was from Simpson Bay, of course. Leo Peters, you had, of course, Alex Harrigan, a lot of the guys in from Cold Bay. It was really a Cold Bay team. It was really a Cold Bay team. And then, of course, Town was always the stronger team because they had the real basketball court in Town. Well, they didn't have the auditorium yet, but where the auditorium was, you had a tennis court that they had converted into a basketball court. It was actually a tennis court from Great Bay Hotel, but it was converted somewhat into a basketball court. So everybody would play in Town, but Town was a stronger team. You had Goldie Eagles, you had Traitors and stuff like that. And so to beat Town, Bobby actually brought in some guys from Aruba, which was the legendary Ansel. I don't know if you ever heard of Ansel. Ansel was the first guy that was a left-handed guy. He used to be on his toes. He used to bounce on his toes and reach down left-handed and MPC and just leave it go from the half-court line. And he also brought in a basketball player. He later went on to become a professional. It was Tico Cooper in the Netherlands. Tico Cooper came to St. Martin to try to beat, so that BBW could try to beat Traitors, because the Traitors from town they were the strongest. And he also had the Fireballs from Marigot, which was a team. The current president, brother Lenny Mossington, he was on that team. He had
Just that was those individuals. I think they used to go football, and then right after that, they go straight into basketball.
he had the White brothers. I think he had one of the White brothers, Paul White, or one of them. And then he also had this guy from St. Kitts. His name was Tampy. He was really legendary. But that's how I rolled into basketball and stuff like that. And then later on, of course, I became interested in drag racing. So those really are my three sports. And then at the older age, in I think about 2009, I got introduced to cycling via a friend of mine, Joseph Hallman, the Creep. He invited me a day to come cycling, and that was it. I got into cycling as well.
So you started to share with us there, man. You got me thinking about, because I didn't even know some of these locations had fields, and
Yeah.
so in those days, so it seemed that almost everybody was involved in some sort of sport.
Yeah, sports was really the key thing. Being part of sports was like that was your pastime. You had to be on a team. You had to try to get on a team, and everybody, whether it's in school or anything, But from the gym lesson, from the gymnastic classes, sports was really pushed in those days. So I could remember Portakini, Pops, and Stephens, Mini Stephens. It was really every week you had a different sport. So they really introduced you to the sports. So we played volleyball, we played basketball, we played baseball, we played everything, all sports. And then one week you were inside, and then the other week you was outside, and then the other week you were inside in the gymnastic part where you had to do actual gymnastics, so the rings, the benches, and all those things. So there was a real high intensity and push on basketball. And then of course, during the recess, playing basketball or volleyball, because you had your seasons, you're playing basketball or volleyball in a recess. That was a tradition. Everybody wanted to be part of that.
I recall some of the footages that you posted on Facebook. Now, I save everything you post, because it's always important to have these things so that we can show our up and coming generation this documentation. And I saw there was once a game, a recording of at MPC, a basketball game. And
The Hurricanes versus the Rebels.
it was packed. And you said that they used to fly in players
Correct.
to compete here. So that means the level was high.
The level was extremely high. So in those days, the what you used to get is, for example, Don Hughes. He was the manager of the town teams. So Saito Traitors and stuff like that. That was Don Hughes' team. And then Bobby Otley, he was Colby. Those two had a rivalry going in the beginning. So Don used to bring in guys from St. Kitts, he and those guys, and he used to bring guys from St. Kitts. And Bobby then tapped into Aruba because the level of basketball in Aruba were pretty high. So Bobby brought in some guys from Aruba to support. But overall, that strengthened the sport. And then he had, just at that time as well, he had Matty Williams and Dookie Richardson came back from the US. And the level of basketball just skyrocketed under the guidance of those guys, the influence. But of course, he had a lot of local talented guys already who could, put up a good fight, because he had in those days the mailman Joe. He had Freddie the Weaver. Freddie the Weaver, he had played in Aruba. He was good. Joe the mailman was good. They were all from town. He had Bob Roberts. So he had a lot of guys that were from the island itself. Clarence Cornett, he was recently honored. He was extremely good as well. So he had a lot of local guys who were good at the game. But the outside influence really took the game to a different level. Listen, MPC used to be capacity. And I could remember vividly, for example, we used to be able to get the MPC. There was one vehicle leaving Colby where everybody used to have to get. There was a pickup, a Ford pickup. And you used to really have to try to get on that pickup. Otherwise, you can't go. So we used to be starting and squeeze in like sardines, trying to get a lift to MPC. And if you miss that ride, okay, if you don't get back on coming down, I mean, you walking it straight home because in those days didn't have cars. Like if you got walk from MPC down to the Barren Ground. We used to call it Barren Ground, where before is now. And then you have to wait there sometime until maybe walk like 30 when the guys coming from Great Bay Casino to see if you could get a lift to go over. It was it. All of that just for sports, man. But we had fun because you never used to be by yourself. So it's always a group of us from Colby. So, and in those days, you didn't have video, you didn't have social media. So if you wasn't there to see it, listen, the next day in school, you can hear about it, or you might get a story, but you gotta be there to see it because that's the only way to live it.
Great insight from one of the best in the business. Always a pleasure having Mr. Aventurin in the studio. When we get back, I'll be closing things off. Don't go just yet. And just like that, we're out of time for this week's episode of SXM Sports The Playbook. It's a new season, full of new moments, but the mission stays the same, to bring you the best of SXM Sports from the grassroots to the greatness. Much love to our guests and you, our incredible viewers. Got a story or an event we should know? Reach out. We love shining the spotlight on our local legends. Hit that like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a play. Until next time, stay active, stay passionate, and keep playing. I'm Jamal Newton, and this is SXM Sports, The Playbook, signing off.